Are you ready for this? People are quietly stockpiling coffee, olive oil, pet food, even smartphones before prices soar or shelves go bare. This isn't just panic buying, it's strategic prepping. And here's why it matters. Inflation, tariffs, and supply chain issues are already hitting hard. In this video, I'm breaking down 15 everyday essentials people are grabbing now before they disappear. And trust me, some will shock you. Don't miss the last few items, they're already vanishing fast. Drop a comment if you've noticed shortages near you, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates like this. 1. Coffee. The morning ritual under threat. Imagine waking up to your favorite cup of coffee, only to realize it might soon become a luxury. That's the reality many coffee lovers are bracing for as prices continue to climb. Over the past few months, instant coffee sales have surged by 21%. And it's not just because people are drinking more. The real reason, the massive 50% tariff on Brazilian coffee imports is set to take effect on August 4th. Considering Brazil supplies about 1/3 of the coffee consumed in the US, this tariff is a game changer. Brazilian coffee growers are scrambling to ship as much as they can before the deadline, while traders are rushing to stockpile. But the problem doesn't stop there. Severe droughts in Brazil and Vietnam last year slashed global coffee output, causing Arabica coffee prices to hit near record highs. Experts are even comparing this spike to the coffee crisis of the 1970s. Despite a 9–12% price increase in 2025, demand for coffee remains inelastic. People simply won't give up their caffeine fix. This is why many are quietly stocking up now. The thought of walking into a grocery store and finding the coffee aisle half empty is enough to send shivers down any coffee lover's spine. Panic buying has already started in some areas, and it's not paranoia, it's preparation. If you're a coffee enthusiast, grabbing a few extra bags now might save you from paying double later. After all, better safe than decaf, right? 2. Olive oil, liquid gold in your pantry. Picture this, you're drizzling olive oil over your salad, and suddenly that bottle costs $10. It might sound far-fetched, but it's a very real possibility. The US imports a staggering 95% of its olive oil, with Spain being the largest supplier. However, new tariffs are looming, and the current 10% tariff could jump to 30% as early as August. This means American shoppers could face significant price hikes, turning olive oil into a luxury item. In 2024, Spain exported over 113,000 metric tons of olive oil to the US, a 58% increase from the previous year. But this surge wasn't just about demand, it was about fear. Spanish exporters and American buyers have been front-loading shipments to avoid the impending tariffs. Early 2025 saw a 38% spike in exports, signaling that the olive oil market is bracing for impact. Why does this matter to you? Olive oil isn't just a kitchen staple, it's a symbol of quality and health. With prices set to soar, many are quietly stockpiling bottles now. Whether you use it for cooking, dressing, or dipping, having a few extra bottles in your pantry could save you from paying a premium or worse, facing empty shelves. So the next time you're at the store, consider grabbing an extra bottle or two. It's not just food, it's an investment in your culinary future. 3. Toilet paper, the unsung hero of preparedness. Let's be honest, nothing sparks a mini heart attack quite like seeing an empty toilet paper aisle. It might seem like a mundane household item, but in times of uncertainty, toilet paper becomes a hot commodity. We all remember the 2020 pandemic when it was the first item to vanish from shelves. Fast forward to 2025, and it's quietly making a comeback in prepper cart. According to a recent survey by IREA worldwide, sales of toilet paper and tissues have increased by over 12% year-over-year in Q2. This isn't a coincidence. Inflation, whispers of supply chain disruptions, and climate-related manufacturing issues are driving people to stock up. The EU imports about 10% of its tissue products, primarily from Canada and Latin America. However, rising fuel costs and transport slowdowns have made even that 10% unreliable. Online forums like Reddit's Our Preppers are buzzing with comments from people who've learned their lesson. Posts like "I just bought a year's worth of TP, not risking it again," are becoming increasingly common. Even big box stores like Costco have reported temporary limits on high-demand brands. The message is clear, toilet paper isn't just a household item, it's a symbol of how quickly normal life can feel fragile. So if you don't want to be caught off guard, now's the time to stock up. Better to have it and not need it than the other way around. 4. Laundry detergent. Clean clothes. clear mind. Laundry detergent might not seem like a big deal until you don't have any. Over the past few months, sales of laundry detergent and liquid soap have spiked by over 25% in major cities. This isn't just about staying clean, it's about staying prepared. Inflation is driving up prices, and new tariffs on cleaning imports from countries like China and the EU could push costs even higher by as much as 15 to 20% by the end of the year. Here's the kicker: the US imports nearly 40% of its cleaning products. Any disruption to that flow, whether it's tariffs, geopolitical tensions, or shipping crises, could leave shelves empty. Social media platforms like Reddit and Facebook are flooded with photos of cleared-out shelves, with brands like Tide and Dawn disappearing fast. The prepping community has even coined a term for it: the soap surge. Why does this matter? Clean clothes aren't just a luxury, they're a necessity. No one wants to be stuck doing laundry with vinegar and hope during a crisis. If you see a sale on detergent or soap, it's a smart move to grab a few extra bottles. It's not about panic, it's about preparation. Because when it comes to essentials, it's always better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. 5. Pet food. Prepping for your furry friends. If you think stockpiling is just for humans, think again. Pet food and supplies are flying off the shelves as Americans prepare for potential shortages. A recent study by creditcards.com revealed that 42% of Americans are actively stockpiling goods, and that includes pet essentials. The U.S. pet market is booming, with households spending $5 billion on pet food in 2023, a 17.6% increase from the previous year. Why the rush? Supply chain worries and inflation are driving pet owners to stock up. Even though pet food inflation has cooled to near zero in early 2025, other costs like vet care are still rising sharply, up over 6% year over year. This has led many to buy in bulk while prices are still manageable. Interestingly, low-income households have shown the largest increase in pet food spending. Households earning under $30,000 spent 45.7% more on pet food in 2023 compared to the previous year. This highlights just how important pets are to their family. From kibble and treats to litter and supplements, people are preparing for a pet-friendly future, no matter what challenges lie ahead. So if you're a pet owner, now might be the time to stock up. After all, your furry friends deserve the best, even in uncertain times. 6. Essential hygiene products, toothpaste, shampoo, and more. Have you noticed the hygiene aisle at your local store looking a little sparse lately? It's not just your imagination. People are quietly stocking up on everyday essentials like toothpaste, shampoo, deodorant, and soap. These aren't luxury items, they're the basics we rely on daily to feel clean and human. But why the sudden rush? The answer lies in rising costs and looming shortages. A recent MarketWatch report revealed a sharp increase in bulk purchases of imported hygiene products, including popular brands like Colgate and Head & Shoulders. The reason? New tariff proposals and escalating import costs are expected to drive prices up by as much as 30% by the end of the year. Business Insider has confirmed that many Americans are taking proactive steps to avoid paying these inflated prices, stocking up now while they still can. Think about it. These are items you use every single day. Imagine waking up one morning to find that your favorite toothpaste has doubled in price, or worse, disappeared from the shelves entirely. This isn't a far-fetched scenario, it's already happening in some areas. On Reddit's prepping forums, users are sharing tips on how to store hygiene products long-term. One user even reported that their local store had started limiting toothpaste purchases to just 2 per customer. This isn't panic buying, it's quiet preparation. The shift is clear: people are moving from a just-enough mindset to a what-if mentality. When something as basic as shampoo starts to feel like a luxury, it's no wonder people are taking notice. So do you have a backup supply of hygiene essentials? If not, it might be time to start thinking about it. After all, a little preparation now could save you a lot of stress later. 7. Non-perishable foods. Canned goods, rice, and dry staples. Let's talk about food security. While most people are busy with their day-to-day lives, a quiet but significant trend is unfolding in grocery stores across the country. Shelves are emptying of canned goods, rice, beans, and other dry staples faster than usual. These items are the backbone of any pantry, offering affordability, long shelf life, and easy storage. qualities that make them indispensable during uncertain times. According to a MarketWatch survey, sales of non-perishable pantry items have surged over the past 9 months. In April, Business Insider reported that 1 in 5 U.S. households has started or expanded a prepper pantry. This isn't just the domain of survivalists anymore, it's a growing trend among everyday families. The driving force: rising food inflation and global supply chain disruption. For instance, rice prices have increased by over 14% globally in the past year, and extreme weather events are only exacerbating the problem. The situation is more dire than many realize. The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization (FAO) recently reported that global grain reserves are at their lowest levels since 2000. Less supply inevitably leads to higher prices, and savvy shoppers are taking note. On Facebook prepping groups, people are trading tips on the best canned foods to stockpile, such as black beans, sardines, and chili. These items can last anywhere from 2 to 5 years, sometimes even longer. So, the next time you're in the grocery aisle, consider grabbing an extra bag of rice or a case of canned soup. These staples could become invaluable as prices continue to climb. In a world where food security is becoming increasingly uncertain, a well-stocked pantry might just be your smartest investment. 8 frozen meats and long-lasting cheeses. Meat prices are soaring, and people are responding by filling their freezers with more than just chicken nuggets. Frozen meats, waxed cheese wheels, and even shelf-stable options like jerky and canned Spam are flying off the shelves. This quiet stockpiling isn't just about saving money, it's about ensuring access to essential proteins and comfort foods during uncertain times. The USDA reports that beef prices have risen by 6% this year alone, with poultry not far behind. As a result, many are buying in bulk and storing their purchases in deep freezers. But it's not just meat that's in high demand. Waxed cheese wheels, those old-school red-wrapped blocks, are making a comeback. Why? Because they don't require refrigeration and can last for months, even years, when stored properly. Reddit's Our Preppers forum is buzzing with tips on how to age cheese at home, treating it like a valuable commodity. There's a deeper reason behind this trend: emotional comfort. A study published in Psychology Today found that during times of crisis, people gravitate toward comfort foods to regain a sense of control. Stocking up on meat and cheese isn't just about survival, it's about maintaining a sense of normalcy and emotional well-being. Some preppers are even going a step further, setting up DIY mini meat cells to keep their protein stash safe during power outages or supply chain disruptions. If your freezer is looking a little empty, now might be the time to rethink your strategy. That steak or block of cheese in your freezer could be worth more than just a meal. It could be a source of peace of mind. 9 bottled water and electrolyte drinks. Water is life, but how prepared are you if your tap suddenly stopped working? This question is driving a growing trend of people stockpiling bottled water and electrolyte drinks, like Gatorade, Liquid IV, and powdered rehydration mixes. It's not just about staying hydrated, it's about survival in an increasingly unpredictable world. FEMA recommends that every person have at least 1 gallon of water per day for drinking and sanitation. For a family of 4, that's over 30 gallons a month. Yet most households don't have anywhere near that amount on hand. This lack of preparation is alarming, especially given the state of water infrastructure. A recent report from the American Society of Civil Engineers gave it a C rating, citing aging pipes, contaminated water sources, and climate-driven disasters as major concerns. The situation isn't hypothetical. Cities like Jackson, Mississippi, and parts of Texas have experienced multi-day water outages in recent years, forcing residents to boil water if they had any at all, just to meet basic needs. It's not just bottled water that's in demand. Electrolyte drinks are becoming a must-have, especially in areas hit hard by heat waves. These drinks replenish lost minerals quickly, making them invaluable during power outages when air conditioning and fans are unavailable. TikTok and Reddit prepping communities are full of creative storage solutions, from stacking water bricks to rotating Gatorade stock. Some even mix their own electrolyte powders to save space. If you've got an empty corner in your pantry or closet, consider filling it with water. When the taps run dry, bottled water won't just be a convenience, it'll be a lifeline. 10 over-the-counter medications and first aid supplies. When was the last time you thought about your medicine cabinet? Over-the-counter OTC medications like pain relievers, fever reducers, allergy pills, and cold medicines are quietly disappearing into prepper pantries across the country. These aren't luxury items, they're essentials that most of us don't think about until we desperately need them. According to the Consumer Healthcare Products Association, over 80% of U.S. adults rely on OTC medicines as their first line of treatment. However, many of these drugs are imported, particularly from countries like India and China. Global supply chain issues, new regulations, and rising production costs are making these basic medications harder to come by. In early 2024, Business Insider reported noticeable shortages in children's Tylenol and certain cold and flu medication. Some pharmacies even began limiting purchases to prevent panic buying. This isn't just a US issue. Canada and parts of Europe faced similar shortages last winter. On Reddit and Facebook, preppers are sharing tips on how to build personal medicine cabinets that rival small pharmacies. Some even label and rotate their stock to ensure nothing goes to waste. It's not paranoia, it's preparation. Think about the last time you had a headache or a fever and didn't have any medicine on hand. Now imagine that scenario during a blackout, snowstorm, or other emergency. A well-stocked medicine cabinet isn't just a convenience, it's a necessity. So the next time you're at the pharmacy, consider picking up an extra box of ibuprofen or cold medicine. When the unexpected happens, you'll be glad you did. 11 emergency power essentials: batteries, flashlights, and crank radios. Picture this, the lights go out without warning. Your phone is clinging to life at 8% battery, and you can't find a flashlight anywhere. Suddenly, the world feels a lot darker, both literally and figuratively. This scenario is exactly why people are quietly stockpiling emergency power essentials like batteries, flashlights, power banks, and even old-school crank radios. In a world where we've grown accustomed to constant electricity, the thought of losing power is unsettling, and for good reason. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the average American experienced over 5 hours of power outages in 2023, a number that's steadily increasing due to extreme weather, grid overloads, and even cyber attack threats. These outages aren't just inconvenient, they can be dangerous, cutting off access to light, communication, and critical updates. It's no wonder that prepping communities on Reddit and Facebook are buzzing with recommendations for must-have gear. Lithium batteries, known for their long lifespan, are a popular choice, as are solar-powered power banks and LED lanterns. And let's not forget the hand crank radios that double as phone chargers and flashlights, a true multi-tool for modern emergency. The demand for these items isn't just theoretical. During the 2021 Texas freeze, power banks sold out across multiple states within 48 hours. People weren't rushing to buy TVs or snacks, they were scrambling for power. In a real emergency, it's not about entertainment, it's about staying informed, connected, and safe. If your drawer of dead AA batteries isn't cutting it anymore, it might be time to rethink your strategy. Building a small power kit now could make all the difference when the next storm hits or the grid goes down. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later. 12. Personal care must-haves, feminine hygiene and sanitation products. Here's a topic that doesn't get nearly enough attention: personal care essentials like feminine hygiene products, condoms, and other sanitation items. These aren't just convenience items, they're necessities, yet they're often overlooked until they're suddenly unavailable. That's why more and more people are quietly stockpiling these critical supplies, ensuring they're prepared for any situation. The numbers tell a compelling story. Over 70% of feminine hygiene products sold in the U.S. are imported, primarily from China and Southeast Asia. With rising global tariffs and ongoing shipping delays, prices have already increased by 15 to 20% in the past year, according to MarketWatch. In some rural areas, restocks are so slow that stores have started limiting purchases. One viral Reddit thread shared the shocking news that a local store was restricting tampon sales to just 1 pack per customer. Imagine that, 1 pack for something half the population relies on monthly. But it's not just about tampons and packs. People are also stockpiling other personal care items like razors, baby wipes, deodorant, and even menstrual cups. These products are more than just hygiene tools, they're essential for maintaining dignity and comfort during a crisis. Prepping groups on Facebook have even started organizing hygiene bins, complete with backups of everything from travel-sized shampoos to reusable sanitary products. The goal is simple: never be caught off guard. If you're building an emergency kit, don't overlook these items. In a real-world crisis, staying clean and prepared isn't just about health. It's about maintaining a sense of control in the midst of chaos. And right now, the smartest people are making sure they're covered. 13. Tech lifelines: smartphones, laptops, and backup devices. In today's digital age, technology isn't just a luxury, it's a lifeline. That's why people are now stockpiling smartphones, laptops, and other essential tech devices before the next big price surge hits. With new tariffs on electronics from China looming and production costs for chips and batteries skyrocketing, experts are warning that prices could jump by as much as 20%. For many, the time to act is now. Recent reports from MarketWatch and Bloomberg highlight a growing trend. Buyers are rushing to grab backup phones and refurbish laptops before the next round of tariffs takes effect. A Business Insider article from early 2025 even noted that some savvy shoppers are prioritizing basic unlocked phones and solar chargers, preparing for potential grid disruptions or emergencies. It might sound excessive, but in a world where remote work, online banking, and digital communication are essential, losing access to your devices can feel like being cut off from the modern world. The demand for backup tech isn't just about convenience, it's about preparedness. During a crisis, a second-hand iPhone or Chromebook could be priceless if your main device fails and replacements are hard to come by. As one Redditor put it, if the world goes sideways, I'd rather have a $200 backup phone than regret not having it when everything's gone. Whether it's for prepping, avoiding price hikes, or simply having a safety net, tech devices are quietly becoming the new must-have items. Don't wait until it's too late to secure yours. 14 everyday comforts. Makeup, skincare, and beauty product. This one might surprise you, but yes, makeup, skincare, and beauty products are quietly being stockpiled, and not just by influencers. For many people, these items are more than just vanity products. They're a part of daily routines, a source of comfort, and even a form of self-care. During stressful times, something as simple as a favorite moisturizer or a swipe of lipstick can provide a sense of normalcy and control. The rising demand for beauty products isn't just anecdotal. It's backed by data. According to Business Insider, many skincare and makeup brands rely heavily on imported ingredients from Europe and Asia, with shipping costs and tariffs on the rise. Prices for everyday items like sunscreen, foundation, and moisturizers have already increased by over 12% in the past year. On Reddit and Facebook prepping groups, users are sharing photos of their beauty stashes, treating them like treasure collections. Some are even vacuum sealing their favorite products, or stocking up on long-lasting essentials like mineral powders and solid lotion bars. The trend isn't new. During the early 2020 lockdowns, while lipstick sales dipped, skincare sales soared. People turned inward, focusing on self-care as a way to cope with the uncertainty. In a crisis, looking in the mirror and seeing a face that feels familiar and cared for can be incredibly grounding. So the next time you see your favorite beauty product on sale, consider grabbing an extra. Because in a world that feels increasingly chaotic, small comforts can make a big difference. 15. The return of the classics. Toilet paper, coffee, and pet supply. Let's end with a twist. The last item on this list isn't new at all. It's the return of the classics. The items people panic bought during the early days of COVID and are now quietly stockpiling again. We're talking about toilet paper, coffee, pet food, and even olive oil. These aren't just essentials, they're the things people remember running out of when it mattered most. Take toilet paper, for example. According to MarketWatch, sales of toilet paper and paper towels have seen a noticeable uptick since spring 2025, despite the lack of any major emergency headline. Why? Because people remember the helplessness of empty shelves in 2020 and are determined not to let it happen again. Coffee is another hot commodity. With climate disruptions threatening crops in Brazil and Vietnam, prices have jumped by over 50%. For many, a morning without caffeine is unthinkable, making coffee a must-have in any prepper pantry. Pet supplies are also flying off the shelves. Business Insider reports that nearly 1 in 4 pet owners is now keeping an emergency stash of food, treats, and even kitty litter. After all, pets are family, and no one wants to be caught unprepared. And then there's olive oil, the liquid gold of pantries. Droughts in Spain have sent prices soaring, prompting some to stockpile bottles like they're aging fine wine. The pattern is clear. People are learning from the past. They're watching the news, feeling the pressure, and preparing quietly but steadily. The time to stock up isn't when the shelves are empty, it's before anyone else notices.